Greetings and welcome back to SmartWatchTicks. We knew this day was coming, didn't we? You've seen the review of the FINOW X5 Plus, and you really like it. And you've seen the new review of the LEMFO LEM5, and you really like it too, but you're not sure which one to get? Well, this is the video to compare. We are not going to go through every little nuance. We've already done that. What we're going to look for are the differences. What is different? First of all, we'll start with booting up. They look like they lit up at about the same moment. They have pretty much the same nothing on them. There's very little software and stuff actually installed. So they're going through the boot up process, and you can see the similarities and differences of the booting screen. In the meantime, you can take a look at the bands. The bands are definitely different. They're both leather, but the FINOW has just a basic straight black with a thin buckle on it, and the LEMFO has kind of a patternized leather with orange and a thicker buckle. See these buckles? Yeah. And they both have different stock watch faces. Let's see if they're about the same length. They look like they are, don't they? This is the quality and texture of them. Now watch this. When I set the LEMFO down like that, it pops up to about right there. When I set the FINOW down, it's a tiny bit lower. You can go underneath, which means that this is a little more pliable, the band, perhaps. This might be a little bit stiffer. Remember, the antennas are in the bands, so you're not going to be able to remove them. You cannot take this band and put it on that watch. However, you can get the watches in each other's color. You can get black here or silver there. So we're just showing you the contrast between the two, but both of them are available in both colors. Look like we got the same number of holes. How's the spacing on those? Whoops, sorry. Line up these holes here, and I mean, these are the kind of little nuances you have to look for. You got nice, big, rugged, square holes on the LEMFO. The FINOW's got little round ones, but it has, of course, to do with the buckle end. You've got a much bigger, broader buckle on the LEMFO than you do on the FINOW. Okay, in terms of the back of them, they're identical. There's nothing different. The sensors are the same. The speaker's in the same place. The charging dock with the locating pin is identical. It's metal, both of them. That's all the same. 3 buttons seem to be the same. Same positions, do the same things as we've seen in the software when we ran through it. They have kind of a brushed look. This is brushed black and brushed aluminum, as opposed to, for example, the Q3 Plus, which is shiny all around there. The bezel, no markings on it. It's smooth in black or silver, a nice brushed color. This is the default watch face. Now, here's a little bit different on the LEMFO. When you press and hold and fly to the left, all of your new watch faces will show up to the left. When you do that on the FINOW, you can't go to the left. All your new watch faces appear immediately to the right of the stock face. And this doesn't have any new ones installed. It just has the stock faces that came with it, which are subject to change through firmware updates on both of these watches. Okay? So what you're seeing here may or may not be the final when you get your watch, and it could change with firmware updates. But you can tell, software-wise, they're pretty darn close to identical, at least on a few of them. Now they're really shifting, huh? There, okay, that one we've seen before. The orders are different. Watch faces seem to be awfully similar, if not identical. These are in the order as installed by the manufacturer. I'm really stretching to find differences here for you folks. So the world of watch faces, that's a different arena. We know that's... okay, see the minus sign is one that I installed, so that's the last one on this watch. This one has a few more, couple more. That's the last one on that watch, and these are the ones that have been installed with the plus button. like those, which look like that, pretty much the same on both watches. Okay, how about AnTuTu scores? When we go over to the right, all of this is the same. To get to the apps. And now we're going to look for the AnTuTu 3D benchmark. Where's the regular? There it is. And here, it's going to bring up the last result, the last time that we ran it. And 3D, and there we go. We're in 22,000, almost 23,000. So in this case, slightly faster for the LEMFO than the FINOW. But, I mean, really, at 22,900, 23,100, they're awfully close. It could have just been a hiccup or one more little thing installed in one that isn't in the other. So that's working well and pretty much comparable. And let's bail out of that. Oh, I didn't mean to go all the way back. What we want to do is go into, not the settings yet, but the applications to do that engineering mode MTK and see how the GPS does. Now I'm going to ask you to trust me on this one, because what I'm going to do is take it outside and start that button at the same moment on both of them. Hardware testing location. I'm going to tap GPS, go to view, and I'm going to watch it. And I'm going to let you know which one picks up the GPS fastest, and if they lock at the same, and if they look about the same. So I'll be back after that little test. Look at this, everybody. They're holding. I took it outside, turned it on. It seemed to take a while before it got it the first time, but then when I turned it off, turned it back on, the FINOW links in 2 seconds. The LEMFO links in 3, pretty much consistently. And look, the same red dots and green dots are there, the same bars. They're strong indoors right now. So if you got a good lock from outside, possibly even walking inside will work. If you have it on against your skin inside, they should fade out slowly, but they're still holding. So, I can't tell you pros or cons of either one of them on GPS other than to tell you that they work, and they work really well. Well, it's looking more and more like the only way you're going to be able to decide which watch you want is which band you like the best and what the price is. They are very much similar, if not identical, across the board. They're not waterproof. They're splash resistant, I guess. You don't want to dunk these guys in water. The speakers are in the same place. The volume is basically the same on both of them. There's nothing else I know to compare on them. Other than the LEMFO came with a really pretty extra high-quality USB connector that I'm using to charge my phone now. I don't know if that's because of ordering it directly from FINOW, or if that is packaged with both of, wherever they sell it through. That's the LEMFO that does that. The FINOW comes with the basic charging information dock and wire. You want to try heart rate? I'll try heart rate with my fingertip, but that's so goosey on depending on whether it's got a good connection or not. I wouldn't buy the watch on just one sample, but let's try it. Are they doing it? This one's got to go. Okay, this one's going already. This is not a race of time as much as it is of accuracy. So I got my index finger on both of them. And they're doing the reading. Now, one thing that I wanted to share with you, no matter which watch you decide to get, it's really frustrating that the apps are like 5 swipes away. You don't get to them quickly anymore. So I'm getting different readings. See that? 80, 83, 93, and 86. 93 now, it's bumped up to. Maybe I just can't admit it. I hate to look at these numbers. I should be zinning at 70, right? Oh well. Well, they're consistent. They may not be right, but they're consistent. Stop. Okay. Enough. I want to show you this. Okay, that was a bit scary. Let's move on. I promised you if you got yourself through this comparison video that we would show you a little shortcut to help you out with the drama and trauma of having to go all the way over to get to your applications. That's a nightmare. So let me show you a way around that. But first, a shout out to both the companies that make these watches and the folks who built this software that the watches depend upon. Hello! That is ridiculous to have the apps all the way over here. Look at this. You have absolutely nothing when you swipe to the right. That used to be where your notifications were, remember? They would be to the left. Now you put them on the top. That's cool. Love it. Fine. I don't mind. I know how to get to them. But there's nothing to the left. Why don't you take those silly applications 6 rows over and put them on the left-hand side, okay? Just move them over there. So one swipe to the left and you get your apps. And don't give us a pretty little icon. Go right into them, okay? All of your apps should just suddenly show up when you swipe to the left. Easy, really easy. First one of you guys that does that with a firmware update, should be doable with a firmware update, is going to get my vote as the best watch ever, the first innovative company to do it, and I'm going to do a whole separate video on that, make sure everybody sees it. Apps to the left when you swipe to the right from your home screen, okay? Until that happens, we have to do a workaround. And the workaround is go to the Google Play Store and install this app called Floating Toucher. Okay, let's talk about that. Floating Toucher is just what it says. It floats a little touchable button on top of every screen. And there it is. You see that little white button there? There's a free version of it, and then you can pay for the Pro upgrade and get more capabilities. When you bring it up, and notice I have it with the app in the square right now. It's so cool. Third-party apps, now you can get to these menus in the corner that before were off the screen. When you bring it up, you have these different things. You have a panel which shows you how you can change all the things that are in one circle. In custom, you have 3 different pages. You have the central one. Then on the left, all these plus signs are where you can add things like other apps, individual apps. 2 is in the center, and 3 is another one to the right-hand side. And then you can customize what action will happen when you double-click or long press on the little dot, right? As it is right now, let me warn you, if you touch and hold it, it disappears. And there's no way on the screen logically to bring it back. You have to go into your notifications and run the app from the notifications, and it'll suddenly bring the dot back. Don't like that, so one of the first things that I do is change that configuration. See, it wants you to spend 99 cents to remove the ads, custom color. There's all sorts of different things you can purchase on it. I'm not even able to get to the other stuff. I highly suggest the paid version because there's a lot more things that you can do. Yeah, see, it says Pro there on the side. Let's talk about what it does first, okay? Let's just bail out of this. I can go all the way back to the home screen, and you see it's still there. I can touch it, and I can move it. I can put it pretty much wherever I want, but be careful. If you move it off of the edge, it's going to disappear up here, and you won't be able to get to it unless you put the square in there, and it gets to be a nightmare. I like it on the right, just a little bit above, straight on to the side, seems to work well for me. So what does it do? Well, we started this discussion because we wanted easy access to the apps. If I touch it, give it a moment, it brings this wheel up, which is very cluttered on the background that we got. So the first thing I'm going to do is change the background watch to something that's going to make it a little easier to see what it does. Gosh, which one would be good? None of these. All right. Let's pick that one. There's the dot. I'm going to touch it. Okay, now you can kind of see pretty easily, right? Home is just what it says. It goes home, which is where you are here. So if I happen to be deep in my apps, inside of something, I don't know, the Play Store, whatever, see, there's a square again. It's going to try to set up my Google account in the square, which is so much easier to work with. If I were to hit the home button, boom, takes me right back to your watch face home position. That's nice. If I do this and I hit the lock button, it's going to ask for permissions to make floating toucher accessible to lock the screen. I can activate that. It can't be uninstalled, so you have to do some tricks to uninstall it if you do this. By the way, if you do this and you want to uninstall it and you find you can't, go to the Google Play Store, download Settings Search, and from Settings Search, you can go into the Device Manager, deactivate it as an administrator, and then you'll be able to uninstall it. Another little thing people have gotten in trouble with this. The disappearing dot, if you move it off the screen, the disappearing dot if you press and hold and let go, and you can't get it back, and uninstalling it. All right, you know all the pitfalls. So we're going to say OK, and it's off. Watch is off. Okay, now I can turn it on. And no matter where I'm at, whatever I'm doing, looking at my contacts, something or other, I just touch it, and I'm gone. Hey, we just saved life of the buttons. You don't have to press your buttons now. If you've got it set for automatic turn on, you just lift your wrist and you're right back where you started from, more or less, I guess, or back to the home screen. What am I doing? I should just use my button and go home, right? Yeah, and I can use my button and turn it off. Other things that you can do, I can touch this upper right-hand one and whoa, everybody. Whoa, there they are. That's all the installed apps, your basic ones it came with and the new ones that we've put in, alphabetical order, right on your screen. No need to scroll to get to them. Isn't this cool? I really like floating toucher. Okay, you're doing the Google search without logging into Google. I love it. Back to home. You want to add apps? You can. You want to clean your memory? You can. A lot of things you can do with this one. So by way of comparison of these watches, you can install floating toucher on either one of them. You have the little dot and you have access to all of this stuff. That's my workaround I would suggest from having to scroll all the way over here to get to your apps. But again, a shout out to the manufacturers and a recommendation to please try to make it as easy as swiping to the right to get into your apps. So by way of summary, bottom line, the watches are as close to identical as I can call it. I'm not going to be able to tell you which one is better, which one I would buy over the other. I would choose on the band, honestly. Do you like the sporty look or do you want the leather, darker look? Do you want a black watch or do you want a silver watch? And then check the prices and see what you can get as a price. But so far, everything else, the software implementation of Android 5.1 is identical on both of them across the board. You still have the ability in the settings, goodness, to go into the display and do that whole interface style thing we were talking about, the square and the circle for your third-party apps on both of them. So you got all the stuff you need. And both of them are reputable companies. They do firmware updates regularly. So your choice. Which band do you like? All right, there's your comparison. FINOW X5 Plus, LEMFO LEM5. Thanks for watching.